Hello, it's Lethea from Farm View Creators. Today we're going to work on the Crafting Hutch Shelf Sitter from the Rust Covered Cottage by Christina. This kit is adorable. All the little pieces are so tiny and so fun. So I'm making a sticky board, a fresh one, because I did not want these pieces to wiggle around so much on me. I did spray them with a spray top coat. It helps keep the paint out of the grooves a little bit. And I am going to put some side pieces to hold my sticky tape in place. I'm getting the hutch down, making sure I know where the drawers go and the cabinets fit. And then I'm categorizing the pieces based on the colors that I'm thinking I'm going to paint them. So I'm going to put pieces that are going to be like colors near each other. And I'm going to go in on my hutch and I'm going to protect those other sides. I'm going to use an old Stampin' Up! Sponge roller on this one. And I'm using my mineral acrylic from Couture in the shade Autumn Sage for my background, and rolling it on to the hutch, to the backboard and the front layer of that hutch. It's such a pretty color. When you roll it the first time, it's not going to look smooth, but just be patient. Try not to put a ton of pressure when you're rolling, because putting the pressure does fill in those score lines that you want to keep evident. It does take some practice though, so I just started using this technique and it has been a game changer. I did use my parchment paper to kind of protect my other pieces so that I didn't accidentally get them in the way of my roller. And now I am going to go in with another roller. I just changed out the sponge with Aquamarine. It's another mineral acrylic from Couture. And I'm going to hit quite a few of the little accessory pieces on this kit. Then giving that a good dry, and again getting that second layer that really pulls the color together and smooths it out and evens it out. And giving all that a really good dry. And then I'm going to kind of get my actual top of the hutch and backboard out of the way so that I can add some more of the pieces. Again, I am trying to categorize them based on color, and I'm going to go in with Couture's chalk style paint in the shade Buttermilk. And hitting the frames and the bucket. And I'm going to do the knobs in that Buttermilk, as well as the paint splashes on the bottom of the hutch. Just trying to take my time and a very small brush to do that. I do kind of go out of the lines and wipe it back a little bit. I either wipe it back with my finger or I'll grab a baby wipe and wipe it back. This one is so worth the time. It is so cute. Hitting a second layer on those. I painted long enough that they were dry without me having to use the heater. On that second layer on the bucket, I really just hit the paint in the bucket because I am going to paint the rest of the bucket in other colors. Getting that paint splash again, and then I'm going to get the top of the hutch, and I needed to turn it to get a little more even there. And I'm not the best freehand painter, so you'll see me take some time to wipe that up with a baby wipe and try to straighten out my lines. I promise it all turned out good in the end. But it's hand painted, not perfect. I don't like perfection. My hand was in the paint, so I got a little on my Hutch, just fix it. Now I'm looking around and trying to decide what else I want to paint Buttermilk, and I decided to get one of the books and one of the paint sections on the little, it's like a My Paint Colors board, and then there's also the tops of the brushes. I think I got the glue stick glues out of the glue guns, and I'm gonna hit that bottom of the little cricket. I mean, how cute is that little tiny cricket? It's all the details in these Hutch kits. They're so pretty. And y'all, they are so fun to paint. And then these are the little ribbon wraps. So I decided to paint the little ends of the ribbon wraps in buttercream. I'm getting all of the other pieces together. And again, deciding what I want that buttermilk on. And then going in with British Gray on my handle of my paint roller and the handle of the bucket and the bucket itself. And I kind of want it to look rustic, so on that bucket, I'm pretty sure I only did one layer. I'm going to get the little risers and shelves and hit them with that British Gray. It's a really pretty gray. And every color I use, I will put a ribbon and a spot on the paint color board. And now I'm going to go in with my new Metallic Luxe Paint Couture color. It is Love Struck, and it is so pretty. It is much, much, much prettier in person. It's got that, you know, tiny sparkly sheen to it. And I'm going to hit some of the pieces here and there. The scissors, some books, one of the glue guns, a ribbon roll. And I got my Create Words and the pots on my little plants. Then I'm going to hit them with a second layer. I'm just randomly adding the colors to the ribbon roll and the paint backboard. And now I'm going to go in with one of my favorites. This is Peacock, and it is a mineral acrylic from Paint Couture. I'm going to just add it in here and there on the little accent pieces. Some of the books, one of the glue guns, ribbon, and a paint swatch. And then another new color. This is Paint Couture's Luxe Metallic in Teal. It is slightly lighter than Peacock and has that glimmery sheen to it. Just really, really pretty. I do like to add bling sometimes. Going in with my second layer on that Peacock. And then I'll do my second layer of the metallic teal. Then I'm going to go in with Vera at the Ballet, which is a nice soft pink. I decided I needed to throw in some lighter colors. So again, just here and there on some of the little accessories, I'm adding that pretty pink color. And that was a mineral acrylic. And now I'm going to go in with one of my favorite colors, Night Sky. It's kind of a navy, but it's a little more of a brighter blue, I guess, than a navy. I love it anyway. Just adding in some accents, my ribbon, some books, the paint swatch, getting down to where I don't have a lot to paint of each color, but I did want to keep adding more colors. I'm going to go in with Basil for the little plants. It's another mineral acrylic from Couture. Again, every color I use, I add to my ribbons and my little paint swatches. Next up is my pitch black. I'm getting the paint swatch, getting a ribbon. I'm going to hit the handle of the paint roller and the handle of the paint can. And just getting a quick second layer on those little tiny pieces. Then I'm going to go in with Coral Passion, again, to just add some brighter colors to it. I tend to gravitate toward darker colors, but you always need a pop of lighter colors and brighter colors. So I'm getting a book, a ribbon, paint swatch. And then I'm going to go in with Eggplant, which is a really nice deep purple. And getting another paint swatch and the last little ribbon and one more book. And then I am going to go in with a second layer. And I think I just added a little blue to the paint swatch. And now I'm going to go in with buttercream on the easel stand, and I am just doing one quick layer of buttercream on these two easel pieces that fit together to hold it up on your shelf or your tiered tray. I will get the back side later. And I'm going in with some buttercream on my fingers and just highlighting the edges of the banner. And I'm going to move my Cricut and my little cup out of the way so I don't mess them up. Just kind of blending all that in with my finger and then buffing it out with a baby wipe. And I'm going to go in with my favorite Debi's DIY dark wax and a stippling brush that I have used only for wax and I keep in a Ziploc bag. I have found with the hutches that I like to distress around the edges of the two pieces of the hutch laying together just to kind of give it that cohesiveness. My drawers and cabinets kind of got in my way, so I quickly dumped them out. And then I'm going to go in and hit each and every one of those drawers and all of the little pieces. The drawers I do pick up, but the other pieces I am just going to brush it on as they are on my sticky board. It just makes it easier on those tiny pieces. Plus, I need to go in with top coat before I put them together anyway. I did leave the ruler and the My Happy Place in their natural wood. I liked that kind of accent. And there you go, my top coat. Quick brush over on everything, making sure I hit every spot and every piece, but just a very light amount does the trick. It takes out all the shine and gives it that protective barrier. I like to do this before I glue my pieces together because sometimes it'll pool together around the edges of your 3D pieces or your top layers. And after I give it a good dry, I'm going to start gluing it together with my art glitter glue. Y'all know I love this glue. It does not stick to your fingers and make them crusty and goopy. And it also gives a nice bond, but gives you some wiggle room. And with these hutches, I needed some wiggle room because sometimes you just had to wiggle them down to where they wanted to go. And my glue did not want to start flowing, but I finally got it. And there we go. And getting that lined up with the score. You can still see the score lines for that one. And then the top piece just fits centered over that bottom. Getting those drawers where I wanted them. And then I'm going to start taking off all of the other pieces. And as I'm doing that, I'm kind of putting things that I want to be together near each other. It just helps speed things along. Using my weeding tool to get some of the goopy paint out of the way. Kind of laying it out to make sure that I have the pieces where I want them and that they do fit together the way I am trying to get it. Oh my, that cricket's so cute. I wanted my little ribbon rolls to kind of be like my ribbon rolls and kind of haphazardly leaning around. Trying to figure out kind of where the cart needs to go and where the paintbrush and the paint can. I'm going to go ahead and get those two pieces together and let them set up and dry while I start gluing all of the teeny tiny little pieces together. Those letters on Create, they were fun. So tiny, and getting them out of that frame. I don't know, maybe I should have glued them in the backboard before I put the frame on. I don't know, but it worked. Really trying to get them lined up and straight, and you'll see that I go back and I shift them over and I wiggle them. Another reason that I love art glitter glue is that you have that time before it really sets up. And then giving that a hard press when I have them where I want them, kind of lock them in place, and then moving on to another shelf, getting all the tiny little accessories where they need to be. So fun. Yeah, I just can't get over that cricket. All the little details in the score line, it's just adorable. Getting that banner, you do have to wait for the banner because it does overlap some of your other pieces. Getting my paint can, and then the little cart. Making sure I hold that on there because it does kind of hang off and doesn't really have support on that right side. And there you have it. How cute is that? Love it, love it, love it. It's gonna look so cute in my classroom. I hope you liked the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.